I also want you to know that there's a split here, because under the Model Penal Code, which is also the minority, so if they ask you on the MBE to answer the question according to the Model Penal Code, you're going to know that a withdrawal is a valid defense if we have three elements that are necessary. He informs all of the parties of his intent to withdraw. He must thwart the target offense by informing the police. Okay, again, the three elements for an effective withdrawal, and that is the Model Penal Code and the minority. If he informs all of the parties of his intent to withdraw, he thwarts the target offense, and he does that by informing the police. I want to discuss with you real quick what something that's called the Pinkerton's rule for conspiracy rules. And the Pinkerton's rule says that all parties to a conspiracy are liable for all crimes committed within the scope or further into the crime. Again, the Pinkerton's rule says, definition is, all parties to a conspiracy are liable for all crimes committed within the scope or in the furtherance of the crime. So let me give you an example. You've got P1 and P2, and they agree to rob a bar. P1 goes into the bar, and P2 agrees to drive that getaway car. While robbing the bar, the perpetrator in the first degree kills the bartender. P2 is also going to be guilty of the murder because it is a natural probable consequence, someone being killed during the commission of a robbery. So that's the Pinkerton's rule. Conspiracy does not merge with the target offense. We said that earlier. I want to point that out again. Impossibility is no defense to conspiracy. All co-conspirators are liable for foreseeable acts and crimes of the other co-conspirators. The Wharton's rule is a quick rule that I want to go over with you for conspiracy, and that rule says that crimes where two parties are necessary for the commission of the offense, there's no conspiracy unless there is an additional third person. So for examples, it's not a big thing. It's not even really very big on the bar exam, and your professor might not even go over it. But basically, the types of crimes where you need at least two people to commit it is gambling, incest, bigamy, adultery. All of those types of crimes need at least two people for the crime to be committed. Therefore, there is no conspiracy. Just to quickly recap all of the inchoate crimes, they are identified by the initial SAC, S-A-C, S for solicitation, A for attempt, C for conspiracy. Solicitation, the definition is when a defendant intends to solicit, entice, or induce another to commit a crime. The crime is complete once they have done the solicitation, and the solicitation will merge with the target offense. Remember that. It will merge with the target offense. Therefore, they're not going to be guilty of both solicitation and the actual crime that's been committed. They're only guilty once the actual crime is committed of the crime that they solicited. Attempt. Attempt is when the defendant acts to commit a crime but is unable to complete the target offense. All right? And you have to have two elements for attempt. Number one, they must have the specific intent that the target offense be committed. And number two, they must take a substantial step in furtherance. Mere preparation is not enough. Remember, a substantial step like lying in wait, solicitation to commit a murder, to have someone murdered is a substantial step. Soliciting someone, buying a weapon or something to commit the crime is also a substantial step. Withdrawal as a defense, there's no effect once they're in the zone of perpetration or in the act. And that is the majority and the common law that you want to follow. And if they ask you for the Model Penal Code, then yes, withdrawal can be a defense if he informs all the parties of his intent to withdraw, and he must thwart the target offense by informing the police. Lastly, let's go over conspiracy one more time. The definition is an agreement between two or more guilty parties to commit the crime. Conspiracy will not merge with the target offense. Again, conspiracy does not merge with the target offense. So if they ask you what are the parties guilty of, you're going to describe both conspiracy, the agreement between the two, and the actual offense, whatever it is, the robbery, the murder, whatever it was. You want to discuss them both and find them guilty of individually each one of those. So conspiracy does not merge with the target offense.